Hey, it's Heather again. We're coming to you from Des Moines, Iowa with Bitches Get Stuff Done.
And I'm Blythe. I'm coming to you from Bargersville, Indiana.
It is our first Wednesday episode ever. This is our fourth episode of Bitches Get Stuff Done podcast. Every single time we get a little bit better at this. Still pretty new, but we're starting to get the hang of it, and we've had offers to help us polish up our whole process. So hopefully it'll get even better and better and better as time goes on. So just so much going on. We were like, we have to do a Wednesday podcast. Life has so many different things to keep everybody up to date and keep them active. I'm just going to spew out whatever I know is happening right now because there's so much national politics. I wanted to cover it midweek. What do you think, Blythe? Any comments from you on the craziness of the week?
Oh my God. I mean, I hate Elon Musk and Donald Trump, but I don't know how Donald can mess up Tesla and call it Tesla. I don't believe he's even capable of driving, let alone legally allowed to drive. I wouldn't suspect he knows how to even start a Tesla. Spoiler alert, you don't actually start it. It doesn't ever go to sleep. And I don't think he, one, bought one. If he did, it wasn't with his money. And two, what was that publicity stunt? It is absolutely insane. I'm so over
I'm
him.
here for it. I'm here for it because everything Donald Trump touches turns to shit. Everything.
Yes.
There are no exceptions to this rule. So he is totally tanking Tesla single-handedly. I'm telling you, everything he touches. So I'm here for it. Let him pretend to buy more stuff that we don't like. It's absolutely the perfect scenario to me.
It is, but the problem is, one, I think Elon is directing him to do this, and two, he's also turning our country to shit. Like, literally, it is. I spiral sometimes. I definitely spiral over some of the nonsense he's doing and some of the speculation that people are posting about. It's terrifying.
It's I think telling that what he did with the Tesla stunt is against the Hatch Act. You can't actually sell product as a representative of the government from the White House or from your place of employment. And of course, he continues to do that, as does a lot of people from his administration. Just these rules don't exist anymore, and nobody's saying anything about it. If that had been anybody else in previous administrations, they would have gotten like in huge trouble. But nobody even mentions it anymore. It's just like out the window. Unreal.
Yep. It's unreal. And I just keep waiting for, like, when is someone actually going to say something? Like,
Oh, I don't think they ever will.
well, didn't Al Green, did he actually submit paperwork for impeachment? Like, will something happen with that?
Well, it won't go
Please?
anywhere. It won't go. It won't go anywhere. You really have to have control of at least the U.S. House of Representatives, and then they can submit the articles of impeachment. The Senate has to take it up and have a trial, but that's not going to happen. It's not going to go anywhere. So yeah,
It could, though, because we have special elections coming up in Florida and one in New York. We could flip the House.
If we flip the House, then there's a possibility that we could do some stuff. Not a lot, but of course, the Senate wouldn't convict. They didn't last time. They didn't do the past two times, so they wouldn't convict. He wouldn't be removed. We're not in that area. So I'm concerned with, do we make it past this? Do we have a country even in 6 months? I can't even look to 4 years. I don't even know in 6 months if we still have a country because we're post Constitution at this point.
Yeah.
Everything. Did you hear about this ridiculous Mel Gibson thing?
I heard something about Mel Gibson, and now it completely escapes me.
Oh my God, it's egregious. So the Trump administration told the pardons lawyers, which I didn't even know that was a thing, that there are lawyers that take care of the pardons. And they told those lawyers, you need to give all the gun rights back to all of these people who had these convictions. And Mel Gibson, A, hadn't even applied for a pardon, but B, has a conviction because of domestic violence. So they took his weapons away. He pled guilty, and this was part of the plea. And this is like over 11 years ago. And now, because this lawyer said, nah, this is probably a bad idea because domestic abusers are 5 times more likely to murder their spouse or their partner if they have access to a gun. So she's like, I don't think so, y'all. So they fired her. Wow. Just wow.
I did hear that. I forgot about that. There's so much, like, I worry about 6 months, but I also worry about 6 hours. Like, so much happens so quickly. It just makes my head spin.
Yeah. Yeah. You're not wrong. Every day there's more and more stuff. And when they say they're flooding the zone, they're not kidding. They're
Yeah.
flooding the zone.
Well, I think we are also flooding the zone in different ways.
Yeah, we're certainly doing our best to fight back.
Yeah.
Every day I'm a little more impressed by how many people are getting involved and how many people are getting active and standing up.
Yeah,
We've been able to recently, just this month alone, we've been able to raise over $500 for Bitches Get Stuff Done National.
nice.
I know it doesn't sound like much, right?
But hey, that's a good start because it's
Huge.
only been a few weeks since you quit, right?
Yes.
That's
It's
good.
huge for our organization. It's going to allow us to, grow. I was able to buy ink for my computer printer today, so we can actually print out stuff. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So
I daydream about winning the lottery. I bought some Powerball tickets, so hopefully one of them's a winner, and we'll just Bitches
I'll
Get Stuff
send good
Done.
juju your way. I don't play the lottery, but my grandparents won the lottery, so I figure that my odds of winning the lottery are that much worse because my relatives won it.
Or maybe that much better.
Maybe I should play. I don't know.
Maybe you inherited their good genes to win lotteries.
We call it the poor tax. Only poor people buy lottery tickets.
Well, I am a poor person. I was getting ready to go do the solo protest today, and I was like, you know what? I'm doing something daring. I'm gonna go buy a Powerball ticket. Maybe this is like, I don't know. Why not?
Well, I'm gonna send good vibes your way.
Woo! So something I listened to the other day, you were talking about dismantling the Constitution. Politics Girl podcast is awesome. And I listened to hers yesterday, and Sky Perryman was on there, and she has a nonprofit called Democracy Forward. It's they're attorneys basically, so they've had a lot of lawsuits against Donald Trump, and it's worth listening to solely because it will give you some optimism. Like, yes, it's very bad that this is happening. However, if the Constitution is being dismantled, perhaps this gives us a starting place to rebuild it, but in a way that's more inclusive, because the Constitution did not include women, people of color, Native Americans. Like, it excluded a lot of people. So maybe in some really fucked up, unnecessary way, things get so bad that we all start, like, because people are collaborating, people are coming together more in ways I have never witnessed. Maybe we rebuild it and make it better and have actual civil liberties that are like set in stone, so to speak.
It's pretty Pollyanna.
It is. I'll take Pollyanna.
That's what's helping you sleep at night, because
I
would say if they destroy the Constitution and we do have a convention of states and we come together and make a new constitution, those awful human beings that are currently making the world a worse place are still around. They're not going anywhere. Yeah. And those are the same people that said, I'd rather have the guy that's going to destroy our country than the woman, than the African American woman. And they're not going anywhere. Now, the one thing that warms my heart is that yesterday at the Capitol, it was One Iowa Day on the Hill, so it was pro LGBTQ Day on the Hill. We had a huge number of people to celebrate LGBTQ folks. We had 2 Yahtzees. That was it. So the number of us as opposed to the number of them is astronomical. Yeah. So that's one thing that gives me hope, is that people are coming out. They are showing their support for minorities and the people that are marginalized. But those awful people are really loud, even though they're not in huge numbers, and they're not going anywhere. That's what concerns me. They genuinely think that if we have equal rights, they lose something. Yeah. And of course they're not. They're just so privileged that they don't see that they're even privileged. Mm-hmm. Mind-numbing. It is mind-numbing. It is. Well, there will always be terrible people. I think the bulk of Trump's people, at least in office, are blackmailed, or they've got something on them that is keeping them following him. I find it hard to believe otherwise. You mean like Congress members and senators? Oh, yeah. I certainly think that for Joni Ernst, because she was definitely compromised, and she definitely switched sides and voted for Pete Hegseth when she absolutely shouldn't have. But I also think that they are so addicted to power that they will do anything to stay in power. But they're not seeing the forest from the trees, that if we don't have a democracy anymore, what are the odds of them still having power?
Yeah, so, that's a good point.
They're just so short. It's so short-sighted. And I don't have hope for them waking up.
Oh, I don't think they'll wake up. I think that's part of the reason they're still following him like lost puppies, though, because he has either blackmailed them or supported them in the past in some capacity that's not legal or ethical or whatever. I'm sure they've got dirt on him, or they're threatening their families. I genuinely believe that. I absolutely believe that with Senator Todd Young here in Indiana.
There's a book that I highly recommend. It's called Why We Did It. It's written by a former Republican, and he talks about why they all went over to Trump and what the whole plan was. And his whole entire the whole book comes back full circle to it's all part of the game. It's all games where they all want to be rich, they all want to be powerful, and they'll do anything for it because it's so addicting. The power is its own like drug that they can't get off of. And in order to get that drug, they'll play any game they have to. Good book, highly recommend it. Although he is
I'll have to listen to that. I cannot wrap my brain around that mentality, though. Like, I just can't. But
the selfishness makes sense to me.
Yeah, it does. That does make sense. Anyway, so that's federal. Department of Education may be laying off thousands of people.
Yeah.
Government may be shutting down. What else has happened?
Oh, so speaking of the government shutting down, the House did file or pass the continuing resolution.
Okay.
In that, this is great. And by great, I mean, oh my God. In that bill, they tucked in a little piece that says the 119th Congress is not going to have any more days in the Congress. So there will no longer be calendar days in the calendar. So that makes it so that when the Democrats filed, so that they have to have a yes or no vote in 15 days on whether or not Trump's emergency status for putting the tariffs in place can stay. So Congress would have had to say yes or no. We agree that there's an emergency situation for tariffs to be in place. So instead of the Republicans saying yes, let's vote on that, they said we'll have no more days because they're required in 15 days to vote. So those days no longer exist because Republicans make a weird. Does that make sense?
No.
I know, right? They just declared that there are no more days in the calendar so that they don't have to vote yes or no for these tariffs. Congress ceded their rights or ceded their power. Completely said, no, we don't want this power. We're just going to give everything to Trump. He can do whatever he wants. And so there's just no separation of powers anymore.
And that passed?
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
For crying out loud.
Yeah. Now, of course, it is in front of the Senate now, so it depends upon whether or not they pass the continuing resolution. At this point, I think they will, though. So, yeah.
Is that specifically just for the tariffs?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Well, it's specifically for the state of emergency. So state of economic emergency was a law that passed in 1977. It's never been used like this, ever, ever, ever. But of course, that doesn't matter to Trump.
So, nothing matters to Trump except for himself.
Right. And the whole thing is made up anyway. We're in a state of emergency because of fentanyl or because of immigration. All of that's made up so that he can put these tariffs on. All of it's just fake. And so instead of Congress saying, let's take a vote on this and decide whether or not we're really in this state of emergency, they decided that there are no more days, that we're just going to, from now until the end of the year, it's just one long continuous day. Unreal.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I know, right? It's just nonstop, never ending.
It's unbelievable. It's like unbelievable.
I know.
I have no other words.
Shit.
It's so bad. Stock market is trash, which I don't care too much about. There's something else I heard today. I'm trying to think of the news clips that I heard, but I'm totally blanking.
Yeah, there's just a lot. We've kind of covered the big things that have happened so far this week, but we're halfway through the week.
Yeah.
So, what's exciting to me, and I'm sure you're about to cover this, are all of the things that are going on around the nation to fight back.
Yep.
And that includes red states and blue states. That includes people who have never been active, people like me who have been active their whole lives, coming together, standing up and fighting back. It warms my heart.
Same. So today we did our first solo protest initiative. I know you've done these before, but it was my first one ever. I was absolutely petrified. I'm actually surprised I did it. I kept trying to talk myself out of it. Like, no, I'll do it later. I'll do it. No, nope. I'm going to do this. It went fine. Totally fine. I had people wave at me, people honk, and no one flipped me off. No one yelled at me. Now, granted, it was only 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
My sign said, if you've ever wondered what you would have done during the Holocaust, slavery, or the civil rights movement, you're doing it right now.
Yeah, that's a good sign.
Yeah, I saw that on Saturday at the Women's March. I was like, yep, that's my sign.
That's a lot of words too. Were you just standing on a street corner?
Yeah, it was a really, so we have a big state road that's 5 lanes and it's atrocious. Like, traffic is so bad. Like, you don't go down that road unless you have to. It's so bad. So there's a Kroger and a Meijer and a car wash, like typical suburbia BS corporations. So I parked at the Kroger, went in to pee to like hype myself up. And I was like, well, I'm going to stall and buy a Powerball ticket. And I don't know why that's what I decided to do. It's so random. And I just went out there and held my sign. It went fine.
Yeah, not so different for us. Heaven went and got us some poster board this morning, and I made a couple of signs. One says, Trump and Musk are both rich boy draft dodgers, because they are.
They are.
That's why Musk left South Africa, so he can avoid the draft. They've got, compulsory military service. Mm-hmm. And of course, we all know about Trump and his phones first. And then mine just said, VA cuts hurt veterans.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Right?
I'm going to the Veterans March on Friday. My schedule got cleared, so I'm going. I'm going to put my Class A's on, and that's going to be the sign I make. VA cuts
you
hurt
still
veterans.
Put your military uniform. I just want to say, fuck you.
Now, it's a little snug. When I sit down, the button has to be unbuttoned.
Shit, might want to go for my fat ass thigh now.
It's a little tight.
Yeah, I can't even do the hat anymore. We used to have these Garrison caps, the ones that were like, I don't know how to explain them, but Garrison
caps. Beret. Oh no, you were Navy.
Yeah, but we have the ridiculous dress caps that were stupid. But the working caps were just Garrison caps, kind of like a Veterans of Foreign Wars kind of cap. And I can't wear those to save my life. I look so bad in those caps, and covering up this hair is it's just wrong. It's a sin against God. So I can't. Most of the time, I can't even wear anything that says I'm a veteran. So I certainly can't wear my freaking uniform. Yeah. So no, I won't be wearing my uniform, but maybe I'll wear a visor that says I'm a veteran. I have one of those. Yeah,
well, I kind of went back and forth between that. I can't decide. Well, I should look at the weather. It's supposed to be hot. It's hot as crap out today.
Super weather events. Like crazy.
It's been really nice here this week, knock on wood. But yeah, I'm very excited about that, which I guess since we're talking about that, do you want to talk about some of the protests and events coming up?
Absolutely.
You want to start with Iowa?
Yeah, Iowa's going to be a lot of what Iowa's doing is going to be nationwide. So anybody that's listening to this that's not from Iowa or Indiana, a lot of these events, if you just look in your local area, you'll be able to find them there too. We do have this weekend. We have, of course, the Veterans March at the Capitol on Friday. I think that's more of a rally than a march, and that's at noon. At 2:00 at the Capitol on Saturday, we have a rally to free Mohammed Khalif, is that his name? The one that was arrested for protesting?
I cannot for the life of me. I believe that sounds right, but yes, but he has his green card.
Yeah, he's a permanent resident.
Married, he's educated, yeah.
Yes. So there will be a rally for him at 2:00 at the state capitol in Iowa. There's a rally at the post office on Sunday. Because of all the postal cuts that they're planning to do. And they're trying to destroy, just like everything else, they're trying to destroy the Postal Service so that they can tear it apart and privatize it. So there's a rally there. There's so much going on. Next week, we actually have several town halls where Joni Ernst and Chuck Grassley will actually be at. So you know who's going to be there.
Nice.
Yeah. So I'll be at two of those. I do not know what to expect. I expect they'll be absolutely packed to the gill, but we'll see if they even show up. I mean, it's going to be contentious. I'm surprised that they even said they'd go and have town halls.
Well, do you think so? Since you're mentioning that, there is actually a town hall. This woman here has made two of them on the schedule. I'm gonna make sure I'm not misremembering her name. Where did I do that? Okay, so Victoria Sparks is terrible, 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 terrible human being who's elected on the north of Indianapolis. She actually has two town halls posted, and people are going, of course, but it kind of makes me feel nervous because I feel like is this a trap? Like, is this a joke?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
It's weird.
It's weird. Well, I mean, it's not weird because this is what they're supposed to be doing. This is why they have these recess, times so that they can go back to their districts and have town halls. Is what there's. But it's weird because the leadership told them not to do it because there are people showing up and because people want to give them a piece of their mind. Yeah. So they will eventually stop. So I'm guessing right now that there's going to be a lot of people. There'll probably be a handful of her supporters, but there's going to be a lot of people that are not her supporters. And then she's going to probably leave early or just never have one again.
Yeah.
There'll probably be a ton of police, a lot of heavy security presence would be my guess. That'd be super, I guess, for our senators, Ernst and Grassley. That'd super be my guess. There's something here in Iowa called the full Grassley. It's where you go to every single county, 99 counties, and hold a town hall. That's my guess why he's doing them, is because he has to do the full Grassley. It's literally named after him. Yeah. So if he doesn't do the full Grassley, then he's probably going to get crap, I guess, maybe.
Hopefully get crap anyway. So the national ones, if anyone listening wants to find out things in their area, 5050.1. So the word 50 spelled out twice, .one is a good place for those for the 5051 rallies and marches. So what I have in Indiana for the rest of March so far is just like Iowa. It's a nationwide thing. March 14th, this Friday, is at noon, the Veterans March. That same night in Highland, Indiana, at 4 p.m., they are having a protest for our future at Main Square Park. And on Saturday the 15th, again at noon at the State House, is another 5051. That day also from 10 to 2 is a rally against hate in Kendallville, Indiana, in Kendallville Public Library. I have no idea where that is, but bravo, Kendallville. Also the same day, the 15th, Tippecanoe County Courthouse, they're having a People's March. Blythe did not put a time down on there. I am so sorry. From noon until 3 o'clock in Tippecanoe County. And now I have screwed this up. Friday, March 21st, there is, I'm going to say his name wrong, her name, I assume it's a dude. In Mishawaka, a Yakima office protest from noon to 1:30 on March 21st. It's Suite 2 Valley Plaza. Saturday, March 22nd, Mesmer, another congressperson, is another office protest from 1 to 3 in Evansville in front of Mesmer's office. And Friday, March 28th, from 6 to 8 at Westfield City Hall is Victoria Sparks Town Hall, the first one. The second one she is hosting is Saturday, March 29th in the Muncie City Hall, again, Victoria Sparks. And I think that's all I have for March. But apparently, April, we're already getting into April. April 5th at noon is another 5051 national protest at all state capitals across the country.
And also, I would be remiss if I didn't mention Cedar Rapids Bitches Get Stuff Done is hosting their own Veterans March there in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, too. So if anybody's on that side of the state, by all means, get a hold of Cedar Rapids Bitches Get Stuff Done. They have a lot of stuff cooking. We're so fortunate in the state of Iowa with 7 chapters. My God, they're all so active. We're very fortunate to have great leaders in the state of Iowa with the Bitches Get Stuff Done chapters.
That's so cool. We've only got one here. However, there are a lot of individual chapters for Indivisible popping up. There's a woman in Evansville. I don't actually know if I know her real name. I know her handle, but she started what's called the Evansville Resistance, and man, they are on it. It is so cool to see different parts of this terrible, horrible red Midwestern state. They're doing it, and I'm very, very proud.
Yeah, they're doing
I hate that we have to, but
yeah, they're doing the work. That's what matters. Is they're standing up. They're making their voices heard. I find it really impressive in these states where people are like, oh, that's so red, you're never going to go blue. I could not disagree more. Eventually we will win. It's going to be a long slog, but there's just more of us than there are of them, and it's just a matter of getting together and building those communities.
that, and it's just getting so bad.
Yeah.
However, I do think it's important to note that, like, I think you and I both agree, the Democratic Party needs a facelift too. They need to be more assertive. They need to be more active. We need to get done with the status quo stuff. Um, so, and that's something anyone listening who might be interested in getting involved with the party, even going to meetings and just expressing how you, as the end user of party politics, feels or observes or think things need to change. It's worth going and letting them know. We certainly need support. One thing I did forget is the postcard initiative on Saturday. We're trying to flood the White House with postcards to Donald Trump, telling him how much we don't like him.
That's awesome. We did kind of the same thing with George W. Bush when I worked in Washington, D.C. for NARAL. It was his birthday, so we had people donate to NARAL, and then we send him a card for his birthday saying, hey, somebody liked you so much that they gave money to a pro-choice organization.
Nice.
And I was in the marketing department, so I had to fill out hundreds of cards so that we could take them to the White House. It was crazy.
That's smart. So totally off subject, but April 20th, isn't that Hitler's birthday?
It is. Yeah, it is.
And is that the day that's like the end of the 90-day period from the national emergency at the southern border, where the theory is that he's planning on martial law being enacted that day? Have you heard about that?
I hadn't heard that.
I will send you the link. I'm curious on your take because it scared the F out of me. I accidentally watched it and went down a rabbit hole last night.
Is it YouTube though? Is it like a YouTube theory? Because I find those are a lot of conspiracy theories.
It's someone I follow on TikTok who I usually find pretty reliable. I know. I'll send it to you. But we should do that for Flag Day for Trump. That could be a Bitches Get Stuff Done fundraiser. It's not until June, but.
Well, my birthday is April 2nd. Maybe I'll do it on April 2nd.
You should do your birthday. Oh my God. I want for April 1st, I want to like just make stupid posts like, did you hear? Joe Biden admitted that he stole the election in 2020. Could you believe it? And then put like, of course, this is for educational purposes. Because can you imagine? Like Trump's done that twice on camera at least, and no one does anything.
Yeah, yeah. But I would probably spread more salacious things like Trump has herpes, and we found out because it was something over the top.
Oh my God, we should totally. Oh, I like that one. That's even better. He hates Planned Parenthood because he has herpes and he had to go there once to be treated for it.
Get some ointment or something. I'm not sure.
How do you treat that?
I don't know that you do. I don't. I know he doesn't go away, but I don't know how you treat it. Let's ask Trump. He'll know.
Here we go. Starting a rumor. This is for entertainment purposes only.
Oh, God, good times. Good times.
I think that's about all.
Yeah, I think that's it. We covered everything up to this point in the week, I believe.
Well, at least all of the memorable stuff.
Oh God, yeah, you're right. There's so much. There was going real quick before we end. There's a podcast. I'm sure you listen to it. Pod Save America.
You know what? I don't. Michael listens to that, and I don't know why. It's just not on my.
You'd love it. You have to subscribe. Anyway, on Sundays they do an interview with somebody involved in politics, and last Sunday they did a guy who's involved in politics in the UK, and he was talking about how they were out of power. The Labour Party, which would be kind of our Democratic Party, was out of power for like 19 years under Margaret Thatcher, the Wicked Witch of the West, for sure. But then how they had to rebrand themselves, and they called themselves like the New Labour Party so that people weren't like thinking, oh, they're just the old stodgy dickheads that they've always been. And I was thinking maybe that's what the Democratic Party needs. People like us who are actually forward thinking, not that old bullshit that we've been doing for 50 years, but then be like the new Democratic Party. I highly recommend the podcast.
Yeah, that's brilliant.
Yeah, totally. It just like put a light in my head. That's what we need. We need rebranding because there's no such thing as more than a two-party system right now. It's just not realistic.
But you know what? I think that is excellent. So I'll mention real quickly. It's a website I highly recommend anyone watching this. It's called nosmallact.com. There is a woman, I don't even know what state she's from, but she started this very recently. It's an initiative to try to get each county in the country to organize to help basically push back against Project 2025 and all the nonsense. And she's had such an overwhelming response that I don't have to be the chapter lead for my county because someone else wants to do it. And like within 24 hours of me putting out a post about it on our Nextdoor app, I've already got 6 people who responded positively. Now I also had some dickheads. But check out nosmallact.com. But you know what? I'm going to send this to her. I think that could be a really good thing for people to start mentioning when they do this. Like, we are building the new Democratic Party, the new like we need to start that hashtag. I think that's brilliant. You're exactly right.
Absolutely. Yeah. I cannot more highly recommend Pod Save America. Just Sunday. That's the one that I'm talking about, but they have like 2 or 3 a week. So Sundays was the one with the party operative from the UK. I can't remember his name, though, to be honest. He's just like older than dirt, but I thought it was really smart, and I think that's what we need to do.
I think so too, and you should make a post about that on TikTok. I'll do something similar as well, but like maybe encourage other chapter leads who are active to do that too. Like if we can start programming that, like I saw something about rebranding sexism to powerful, like totally different things. But I mean, that's kind of what has happened, right? Sexist men to powerful men. Like, no, you're still sexist. We just need a rebrand.
Yeah, I agree. Well, in the rebrand, of course, we need new blood and leadership. But you know what I'm saying.
We're working on it. We're working on it.
We're getting there.
We're getting there. And we have to hold our people accountable. So I think almost every state, definitely the national party, all has new leadership, if not now, very soon. Anyone listening, whether you identify as a Democrat or not, if you think they need to be changing, you need to tell them.
Oh my God, 100%. Yes.
Absolutely. And keep them accountable.
Yeah. Get involved in the party and say you want to be a part of the new Democratic Party.
Yep.
Okay. With that, I think we're done, right?
Yeah. I think that's awesome. Yay.
Yay. So we're done with our very first Wednesday podcast. Going to try and keep it up. And hopefully by the time Sunday rolls around, we'll have even more technology. And this won't sound like we're all in a bunch of tin cans. Woohoo!
And maybe we'll have some good news to share.
Yay. You know what? Hope springs a turtle.
I'm the yang to your yin.
I never thought I'd be the pessimist in this scenario. God bless America. I feel like I am right now.
Well, I think it ebbs and flows.
Yeah, you're right. Okay, guys, we'll see you on Sunday.
Yes, bye.